Hey guys, what's up? Instigator92 here. And today I want to talk about the cartographer system that's been implemented in both Halo the Master Chief Collection and Halo Infinite. So to start out, let's kind of just talk about what the cartographer system is. Basically, this is how Halo handles the way you choose what type of game you're going to be playing, whether it be 4v4, 8v8, free-for-all, and then on top of that, you're choosing the specific game modes you want to play. Now, in Halo MCC, you just kind of choose if you want to play objectives, or a Slayer, or Precision Slayer. And then in Halo Infinite, it gets a little bit more into the nitty-gritty, where you're choosing, do I want to play Oddball, King of the Hill, Slayer, Strongholds, etc. This is a system that allows players to play exactly how they want, and is supposed to alleviate frustrations of playing some of the things like the maps or game modes that you do not want to play. And on paper, this is a really solid system. Like, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. Player choice is always a wonderful thing to have. But in reality, I think this is one of the worst things for Halo to have, or any game in general. We end up having the majority of game modes be unplayable, and therefore some maps you almost rarely get to play, because what has happened is most people end up playing mostly Slayer, and that really limits some of the maps that tend to have more of an objective focus on them. And on top of that, I don't even get to play the objective modes that I want to play. So what has happened in actuality is, if you're someone that enjoys playing everything that Halo has to offer, you actually become quite limited in what you are able to play. Especially when the playlist populations are rather low, all you're going to be able to find is mostly games in Slayer. Unless there are specific challenges that require people to play objectives, you're only going to be playing Slayer on a handful of maps. On some nights, you might get lucky and have a little bit more variety. In my experience, I tend to be playing a lot more Slayer games than I would like. I think what needs to happen is they just need to have the traditional playlist hoppers like we've always had. You still have your Team Slayer playlist, you have your Team Objective, maybe you have a playlist that's a quick play playlist where it's got a mixture of everything in it, and then everyone can be happy. Because now developers can go in there and make sure there's plenty of variety for the Slayer maps. You're not playing the same 5 or 6 maps over and over in matchmaking, like I play on MCC. Or if I want to have objective games that I want to play, I can go and play those too. I'm someone that likes to play everything. I kind of hate that MCC has devolved into only a certain particular mode being played. And even Halo Infinite has the same thing, where a lot of people, like, if you're playing social, it's all Slayer. And because of that, the maps are limited that you actually get to play. Because the way they handle it, especially in Infinite, not every map is played with Slayer. Some maps are only played with objectives. And kind of the same thing with MCC. Back in the day, before the cartographer system, I used to I would basically cycle through every map on every Halo game that it had to offer. I got to play every mode. I got to play every single Halo game. I wasn't just stuck to Halo 2 and 3, of which, no complaints. And then obviously there's Reach as well that gets some games. But like, I just want to have the old MCC back. I want to be able to play every map, every mode, and get games in every single game that's on there. Unfortunately, the cartographer system is something that's been tried. It's an experiment, in my opinion, that failed. And this whole illusion of player choice has actually limited it for people who want the choice to play everything, not just one specific thing. Like, I'm not just, like, if this was a buffet, I'm not just here for the chips and cheese or the chips and salsa, or, as like my appetizer. I want a little bit of everything. I want the burger, maybe some potato skins, maybe some chicken tenders, mozzarella sticks, whatever. Maybe I just want to have a smorgasbord, try a little bit of everything. Here, I just have the chips and cheese, basically, which is kind of what Slayer is. Slayer is basically your appetizer, and then the nitty-gritty, like the other modes, like Oddball and King of the Hill and shit, like, those are your actual meals. Like you're limiting yourself to what you can have and play. I mean, literally. Like, there's not even Precision Slayer. Like, it's hard to find a game in Precision Slayer. People just tend to play with Precision Slayer turned off, which is so bizarre to me that you would just want to play one way. Like, if I'm going to be stuck playing Slayer, at least have a mixture of precision, dual wielding, or non-precision starts in general, but you have to throw that in there and mix it in. People are just so afraid of something because, like, oh, it's seen as competitive or sweaty. In the classic games, it's really not. It's not like Halo Infinite or Halo 5. You'll be just fine. So to kind of go back to the food analogy, chips and salsa or chips and cheese. If you get rid of Precision Slayer, that's like getting rid of like the cheese and the salsa, and you're just having the chips. Like, what are we doing? So as I mentioned earlier, we go back to the playlist hopper. For social, you have your Team Slayer, Team Objective, Team Social, SWAT, Snipers. I think that's a good start. And then if you have your competitive modes, if you kind of continue the trend that they've been having, you have your Ranked Arena, which is the same modes as what they play in comp, which is the same map and mode combos that they play in comp. You have your Ranked SWAT, Ranked Snipers, Ranked FFA, and Ranked Slayer. And then to go back to social, you put in BTB, and you don't split up BTB. You just have a mixture of Slayer and Objectives, like it was back in the old days. And then if you want to get real crazy, you have your Heavies playlist for BTB Heavies. But these are ways to make sure that all the content gets played, maps, modes, and that people aren't just stuck playing on the same, 5 or 6. Because, again, it's a really good idea, give players the agency to play what they want, but it's kind of the illusion of choice for people that partake of everything. So, those are my thoughts at the end of the day. Let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think. And this is, Halo, MCC, and Infinite. And if you like this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you'll get notified whenever I upload any content like this, or go live throughout the week. I live stream Monday, Thursday, Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard, and it's always a good fun time. We play single-player games, and Halo, and some other multiplayer. It's also a good way to help me grow the channel. I do have a goal for the end of this year to try to hit 500 subs. Neat little goal to hit. And as always, I do appreciate if you guys stuck around and made it this far to the end. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or week, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.